Hello again, automotive enthusiasts. Every legend has an origin story. Today, we tell the story of how the 1965 Dodge Coronet became an American icon. Picture this. It's the mid-60s, and America is alive with the spirit of freedom and innovation. The air is filled with the sweet sounds of rock and roll, and families are packing up their cars for weekend road trips to the beach or the drive-in theater. In the midst of this vibrant tapestry of life, there it is, gleaming under the sun, an automobile that would spark memories for generations to come. If you were around back then, you'll remember that first glimpse of the Coronet. It wasn't just a car, it was a statement, a promise of adventure and possibility. With its clean, angular lines designed by the visionary Elwood Engel, the Coronet stood out in a crowd, boasting a full-width grille that seemed to invite you in, and vertical taillights that called to mind the stars of the night sky. The very sight of it made your heart race, a feeling akin to the thrill of a first love. Under that long hood lay a range of engine options, from a dependable 273 cubic inch V8 to a roaring 426 cubic inch powerhouse, a true beast that could deliver over 400 horsepower. The stats of a legend indeed. But it wasn't merely about numbers. It was about the pulse of the engine that you could feel in your chest as you turned the key. It was the kind of car that made you feel proud to be an American, whether you were cruising down the boulevard or parked outside the local diner. The 1965 Dodge Coronet was more than just a means of transportation. It was a vessel for memories, family vacations, first dates, and late-night drives with friends under a canopy of stars. It represented a time when the open road was an invitation to explore, a time when the car culture was woven into the very fabric of American life. To truly understand the Coronet, we must first understand the America that created it, a nation on the cusp of change, buzzing with optimism and creativity. As we journey through the story of this magnificent automobile, we'll delve deeper into the heart of the era, exploring the dreams and aspirations that fueled its creation and solidified its place in our hearts. Buckle up, folks. This is just the beginning of a thrilling ride through time. In the bustling heart of Detroit during the mid-1960s, the air was thick with ambition and innovation. This was a city where dreams were forged in steel and gasoline, a place where the roar of engines echoed the pulse of a generation. As the automotive industry thrived, a competitive spirit gripped the big three: Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler. Each company was in a race not just for market dominance, but for the very soul of the American driver. It was here, amidst the clang of hammers and the scent of fresh paint, that visionaries like Horace Elgin Dodge and John Francis Dodge laid the foundation for what would become a legendary name in American motoring. The Dodge brothers were more than just founders. They were pioneers who understood the heartbeat of the American public. They recognized the desire for performance, style, and above all, practicality. As the automotive landscape evolved, so too did the ethos of the company. Dodge became known for its bold designs and powerful engines, a reputation that resonated deeply with a nation ready to embrace the freedom of the open road. This was a time when families sought adventure and young dreamers longed for speed, all fueled by the optimism of post-war America. In this electric atmosphere, Elwood Engel emerged as a key figure, shaping the design language of Dodge and Chrysler during this transformative period. Engel's influence was palpable in every curve and line of the vehicles rolling off the assembly lines. His vision encapsulated the spirit of the era: clean, angular styling that spoke to the desire for modernity while still honoring the classic American ideals of power and reliability. As he crafted the designs, Engel was fully aware that each vehicle was not merely a machine. It was an expression of freedom, a ticket to adventure. While Ford was busy with its Fairlane and General Motors was pushing the Chevelle, Chrysler was determined to carve its own niche in this fiercely competitive environment. The atmosphere was charged with creativity and rivalry, each automaker vying for the attention of the consumer. The engineers and designers worked late into the nights, driven by the thrill of competition and the dream of creating something extraordinary. The camaraderie among the teams was palpable, as they shared both ideas and aspirations, united by a singular mission to capture the essence of American life in metal and rubber. In this melting pot of ideas and ambition, the Dodge brand began to solidify its identity, channeling the hopes and dreams of a nation hungry for progress. As the sun set over Detroit, casting a golden hue over the factories, the stage was set for the unveiling of a new vehicle that would not only embody the spirit of the times, but also pave the way for a new era in American automotive history. The dreamers in Detroit were ready to deliver their vision to the world, and soon the roads would be alive with the sound of something truly special. As the mid-1960s unfolded, America found itself in the midst of a cultural renaissance, bursting with optimism and a sense of possibility. The echoes of rock and roll filled the air, with legends like Elvis Presley and the Beatles capturing the hearts of a generation that longed for freedom and expression. Young Americans were no longer just spectators. They were participants in a vibrant tapestry of change, and they wanted a car that reflected their aspirations, their dreams, and their very identity. In this era of transformation, the spirit of adventure was palpable. The space race was igniting imaginations as the nation rallied around the goal of landing a man on the moon. With each launch, from the fiery ascent of the Mercury missions to the triumphant Apollo program, the message was clear. America was reaching for the stars, and every citizen was invited to join in the journey. This was a time when anything seemed possible, and the automobile was no longer just a means of transportation. It was a symbol of freedom, individuality, and the American dream. The Dodge Coronet emerged as a beacon amidst this backdrop, answering the call of a generation eager for performance and style. It was more than just a mid-sized car. It was a versatile platform that catered to both families and thrill-seekers alike. With its clean, angular design, a full-width grille, and those distinctive vertical taillights, the Coronet embodied the boldness of the era. The era's desire for speed and power was reflected under its long hood, where engine options ranged from a nimble 273 cubic inches to an exhilarating 426 cubic inches, allowing drivers to choose their own adventure. Cruising down the boulevard became a rite of passage for the youth of America, and the Coronet was a favored companion on those summer evenings, the setting sun casting a golden glow on its sleek lines. It was the kind of car that made you feel proud to be an American, a rolling testament to the innovation and craftsmanship coming out of Detroit. Families piled into the back seat for weekend getaways, while young men and women took to the streets, the sound of their Coronet's engine growling beneath them, a symphony of power that promised excitement. In the drive-in theaters, couples snuggled into the plush seats of their Coronets, sharing popcorn and whispers under the stars, while the latest Hollywood hits flickered on the screen. The car was a sanctuary, a place where dreams were born and memories were made. It was an answer to a cultural demand, a response to the desire for something more speed, more style, and more connection to the exhilarating pulse of a nation in transition. As the Dodge Coronet began to roll off the assembly lines, it was not just a car, it was a vessel of hope, embodying the spirit of an America that was determined to move forward, to embrace the future with open arms and a powerful roar. As we lift the hood of the 1965 Dodge Coronet, we uncover more than just a mechanical masterpiece. We unveil the very heartbeat of a generation. The roar of that engine is a symphony of American ingenuity, a sound that reverberates through the streets and into the hearts of those who dared to drive it. Under that long, sleek hood lies a range of options that could make any car enthusiast's heart race, from the nimble 273 cubic inch V8 to the thunderous 426 cubic inch monster that defined the muscle car era. Imagine the thrill of turning the key and feeling that powerful engine come to life. The deep rumble reminiscent of a lion awakening is not just noise, it's a promise of adventure and speed. The V8 engine became a defining characteristic of the Coronet, transforming it into a symbol of freedom and performance. With horsepower options ranging from a respectable 180 to an exhilarating 400, this was a car that could fulfill the dreams of both families and speed demons alike. The big block V8 engines in particular were a badge of honor. They represented raw power and an unapologetic embrace of the open road. When you pressed down on the accelerator, you could feel the torque surge, a neck-snapping pull that propelled you from 0 to 60 miles per hour in a mere 6.5 seconds. It was a thrilling experience, one that connected you to the asphalt in a way few things could. And with top speeds reaching around 130 miles per hour, the Coronet was not just a car. It was an invitation to explore the vastness of America's highways. Driving the Coronet was an experience steeped in cultural significance. Picture yourself cruising along Route 66, the sun setting in the rearview mirror, the radio blasting the latest hits from bands like the Beach Boys or the Supremes. Each rev of the engine was a reminder of the freedom that came with the open road, the anticipation of a weekend adventure or a spontaneous trip to the drive-in theater with friends. The transmission options offered a level of customization that allowed each driver to tailor their experience, whether they preferred the smoothness of a 3-speed automatic or the hands-on control of a 4-speed manual. The Dodge Coronet encouraged you to take the wheel, to feel the road beneath you, and to own your journey. In this car, you weren't just going from point A to point B, you were making memories, carving your path through the landscape of the American experience. This was more than just a car. It was a powerful expression of identity and desire, a true testament to the spirit of an era that celebrated speed, style, and the allure of the open road. The 1965 Dodge Coronet, with its unforgettable engine options, was not just a vehicle. It was a rolling embodiment of dreams, aspirations, and the heartbeat of America's car culture. As you slid into the driver's seat of the 1965 Dodge Coronet, there was an unmistakable feeling that washed over you, a blend of excitement and nostalgia that only a true American classic could evoke. The moment you grasped the steering wheel, you could sense the craftsmanship that had gone into every detail. Designed by the visionary Elwood Engel, the Coronet's clean, angular lines were emblematic of the mid-60s, a time when American automobiles were not just cars, but symbols of freedom and power. The dashboard, with its straightforward yet stylish layout, beckoned you to take a journey, while the expansive windshield provided a panoramic view of the open road ahead. You could almost hear the echoes of rock and roll legends reverberating through the air, calling you to hit the gas and feel the rush of wind in your hair. The full-width grille and vertical taillights, so distinct and bold, made a statement about who you were the moment you rolled into town. You weren't just any driver, you were part of a legacy that celebrated the thrill of the ride. Sliding into the plush seats, you felt the comfort that was a hallmark of the era. It was a space designed for dreams, whether you were taking your family on a weekend getaway or simply enjoying a late-night drive through the neon glow of a diner. The Coronet was versatile, a car that could transform from a family vehicle to a muscle-bound powerhouse with a simple turn of the key. With options that ranged from a smooth-running 273 cubic-inch V8 to the roaring 426 cubic-inch monster, it was like having a secret weapon at your fingertips. The feeling of power was palpable. As you revved the engine, the deep growl seemed to resonate through your entire being, stirring a sense of pride that was uniquely American. You couldn't help but feel that you were part of something bigger, a movement that celebrated individuality and the open road. Whether you were cruising along Route 66 or pulling up to the local drive-in theater, the Coronet was more than just a car. It was an invitation to adventure, to make memories, and to savor the fleeting moments of youth and freedom. With every turn of the wheel, the Coronet connected you to the spirit of an era where cars were crafted with passion and purpose. This wasn't merely transportation. It was a declaration of independence, a symbol of a time when the road ahead was wide open and the possibilities were endless. The 1965 Dodge Coronet was not just about the drive. It was about the journey, the thrill, and the pride that came with each mile. As the sun rose on the American landscape in 1965, a new contender emerged, ready to capture hearts and minds. The Dodge Coronet, with its clean, angular lines and bold, full-width grille, rolled off the assembly line, a symbol of the burgeoning muscle car era. This wasn't just another car. It was a statement, a declaration of freedom and performance that resonated with the spirit of a generation eager to hit the open road. If you were there, You remember the thrill of spotting that distinctive Dodge badge gleaming in the sunlight, a promise of power waiting to be unleashed. Competing in a crowded field, the Coronet found itself vying for attention against heavyweights like the Ford Fairlane, Chevrolet Chevelle, and Pontiac Le Mans. Each car had its own flair, but the Coronet stood out with a unique blend of family-friendly versatility and raw performance potential. With a range of engine options from a humble 273 cubic inch V8 to a beastly 426 cubic inch powerhouse, it was a car that could be tailored to fit any driver's desire. Families could choose a reliable ride for the kids, while performance enthusiasts could opt for the high-octane thrills that would leave competitors choking on dust at the stoplights. Picture this: Friday nights at the local drive-in, the air thick with the sweet aroma of popcorn and the sound of engines revving in anticipation. Under the glow of neon lights, the Coronet was not just another car, it was a king among its peers. When it pulled up next to a Chevelle or Fairlane, the tension was palpable. You could almost hear the collective hold of breath as drivers glanced at each other, knowing that the lights would soon change, and with that, the adrenaline would surge. The Coronet, with its impressive horsepower, up to 400, could rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 6.5 seconds, a feat that transformed the mundane into something exhilarating. And let's not forget the power of camaraderie. Car clubs formed around these muscle machines, with the Coronet often taking center stage. Friends would gather, sharing tips on tuning and performance enhancements, debating the merits of various modifications and engine swaps. It was a culture that transcended the vehicles themselves, creating bonds that would last a lifetime. The Coronet was more than just a competitor. It became a beloved member of the community, a car that brought people together under the banner of American ingenuity. In the face of fierce competition, the Dodge Coronet carved out its legacy as the king of the road, not just for its capabilities but for the memories it created. It was the car you dreamed about, the one you longed to take on long drives with the windows down and the radio blasting your favorite tunes. On those summer nights, nothing could replicate the feeling of freedom that came with driving a Coronet, a true embodiment of the American spirit. As we delve deeper into the legacy of the Dodge Coronet, we find that it transcended the realm of mere transportation. It became an American icon, a character in its own right on the silver screen and in the hearts of everyday folks. Picture the drive-in theaters of the mid-'60s, where families gathered in their Coronet, popcorn in hand, to enjoy the latest blockbuster. The Coronet wasn't just a car. It was a ticket to freedom, to adventure, and to the thrill of the open road. In those moments, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the roar of its engine was a soundtrack to countless memories made under the stars. While many cars of the era were vying for attention, the Dodge Coronet carved out its own unique space in the pop culture landscape. It wasn't just about the performance or the sleek, angular design, beautifully crafted under the guidance of Elwood Engel. It was about the stories it became part of. You may recall that iconic scene in the film The Fast and the Furious, where muscle cars took center stage, showcasing the raw power and exhilaration that American engineering could muster. Though the Coronet may not have been the star in every film, it certainly embodied the spirit of the muscle car craze that gripped the nation. Television, too, embraced the Dodge Coronet. In shows like Adam 12, the Coronet served as a reliable police cruiser, a symbol of law and order cruising through the streets of Los Angeles. It became synonymous with heroism, embodying the dedication of those who served their communities. Families could easily imagine themselves taking a Sunday drive in a Coronet, just as they saw those officers patrolling the streets, protecting and serving. The car's versatility made it appealing to a broad audience, from families needing a dependable vehicle to performance enthusiasts seeking the thrill of speed. In the age of muscle cars, the Dodge Coronet was not merely a mode of transportation, it was a cultural touchstone. Whether parked under the neon lights of a diner or racing down the highway, it represented the freedom of the open road, the camaraderie of cruising with friends, and the excitement of youth. As the years rolled on, the Coronet's legacy continued to resonate. It became a cherished classic, a nostalgic reminder of simpler times, and a staple at car shows and classic car meets. Restorers and enthusiasts dedicate countless hours to preserving these vehicles, ensuring that the spirit of the Dodge Coronet lives on. It's a testament to the enduring love for this car that, even decades later, it remains a symbol of American ingenuity and the thrill of the drive. In the tapestry of American automotive history, the Dodge Coronet is not just a thread. It's a vibrant, essential piece that connects generations, reminding us all of a time when driving was about more than just getting from point A to point B. It was about the journey itself. As we look back upon the journey of the 1965 Dodge Coronet, we find ourselves in a moment where nostalgia meets reverence, where the roar of its engine still echoes in the hearts of those who knew it well. This car, born during an era of optimism and change, is much more than a collection of metal and rubber. It embodies a spirit that resonates deeply within the fabric of American life. Today, the Dodge Coronet holds a cherished place in the hearts of collectors and enthusiasts alike, standing as a beacon of the muscle car era, a time when driving was not just a means of transportation, but a celebration of freedom and individuality. With its clean, angular lines and powerful performance capabilities, the Coronet has become a sought-after classic, often gracing car shows and vintage gatherings, where the vibrant stories of days gone by come alive once more. For many, owning a Dodge Coronet is like holding a piece of history in their hands, a tangible connection to the dreams and aspirations of an entire generation. The values it represents, adventure, family, and the thrill of the open road, are as relevant today as they were in the mid-60s. As the world becomes increasingly digital and fast-paced, this car serves as a reminder of simpler times, where the joy of driving could be found not just in speed, but in the camaraderie of friends, the laughter shared on the way to a drive-in theater, and the thrill of cruising down the boulevard with the windows rolled down, music blaring from the radio. The Coronet embodies an era that celebrated the American spirit, an era when cars were more than just vehicles. They were part of the family, woven into the memories of road trips, backyard barbecues, and late-night adventures. Even as we bid farewell to this iconic automobile, let us not forget what it represents. A testament to the ingenuity and passion of American manufacturing, a symbol of the dreams and aspirations that fueled a nation. It is a reminder that in each twist of the road, in every turn of the wheel, lies a story waiting to be told. The Dodge Coronet is not merely a car, it is a legacy that continues to inspire new generations to embrace the open road and cherish the moments that make life truly remarkable. So, whether you once owned one, admired it from afar, or simply remember the thrill it brought to countless lives, take a moment to reflect on the enduring impact of the Dodge Coronet. In its gleaming chrome and powerful presence, we find not just a vehicle of the past, but a symbol of what it means to dream, to explore, and to drive into the horizon of possibility. If this story brought back some good memories, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button. It truly helps us keep these legends alive. But more importantly, I want to hear from you. Please leave a comment and tell us your story. Did you or your family own one of these? What was your first car? I read every single comment, and your memories are what make this community so special. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you for the next one.